Red Bull Racing has a long history of dominance in Formula One. With Max Verstappen at the wheel, they've rewritten records, crushed rivals, and built one of the most successful dynasties in modern motorsport. But there's a problem hiding behind the trophies, one the team doesn't like to talk about: the second seat, the car next to Verstappen, the one that has become a revolving door for broken confidence, media criticism, and unfinished careers. In just a few years, we've seen talented drivers come and go. Sergio Perez, who was once seen as the ideal number 2, Liam Lawson, the young rookie with massive potential, and now Yuki Tsunoda, one of Red Bull's most experienced junior drivers who was finally given a shot and is already struggling. From the outside, fans have often pointed fingers at the drivers. They weren't fast enough, they couldn't handle pressure, they couldn't adapt to the car. But what if the issue runs deeper than individual performance? What if the second seat at Red Bull is designed in a way that sets drivers up to fail, technically, politically, and mentally? In this video, we're going to break down the second seat curse at Red Bull. We'll revisit how Sergio Perez went from hero to scapegoat, how Liam Lawson's F1 dream nearly died before it started, and how Yuki Tsunoda, despite years of preparation, is now facing the exact same storm. We'll also explore the inner workings of Red Bull Racing, the power dynamics behind the scenes, and the questions that no one in the paddock wants to answer. Is the second car really the same as Max's? Does the team even want a strong number 2? And most importantly, what happens if no one can survive next to Verstappen? Let's get into it. When Red Bull signed Sergio Perez in 2021, it looked like the perfect solution. After years of instability next to Max Verstappen, drivers like Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon being promoted too fast, then dropped just as quickly, Perez brought experience, calm under pressure, and a proven ability to manage tires, execute strategy, and pick up podiums, having the way Tal 1 evolved to begin with Cain Perez. In his first season, he wasn't spectacular, but he was solid. He won in Baku, held off Lewis Hamilton in Turkey, and played a key role in Verstappen's dramatic title win in Abu Dhabi. Red Bull praised him for being a team player, and many fans felt they had finally found the right man for the job, and as no long we can Red Bull say that side. Then came 2022 and 2023. The expectations changed. Red Bull had built the most dominant car in years, and suddenly Perez wasn't just expected to support Verstappen, he was expected to compete with him. But that never really happened. He struggled to match Verstappen in qualifying, often failing to even reach Q3. In race conditions, he made errors under pressure, lost key positions, and started falling out of title contention after just a few rounds. And I do think it's always Red Bull from that in Last of Cape's passage, and the narrative shifted fast from perfect number 2 to not good enough. Media pressure increased, fans turned on him, inside the team, trust seemed to erode. His feedback was reportedly ignored, setup choices favored Verstappen's driving style, and when the results didn't come, Red Bull didn't defend him. They doubled down on Verstappen, and Perez was left isolated. By the end of 2024, the writing was on the wall. Despite finishing second in the championship the year before, despite 3 pole positions and multiple wins, Red Bull decided they wanted something new. Perez was out, just like that. But looking back now with the benefit of hindsight, the numbers tell a different story. Perez may not have matched Verstappen, but he delivered more than any other second driver in the team's modern history. He brought stability, brought home points, and accepted a role few top-tier drivers would tolerate. We can still affect one less 30's 820 degree that 25 people of drivers always the rest of Pi-M. Have great tractor, the Sellums of anyway, he don't really pope you're increasing after them is not title. The question is, if someone as experienced and proven as Sergio Perez couldn't survive that seat, who possibly can? Red Bull's answer to Perez? A gamble. They didn't go for a veteran. They didn't go for a proven race winner. They picked Liam Lawson, a young, talented driver with just 11 Grand Prix starts, all with AlphaTauri. On paper, Lawson had impressed. He'd filled in for Daniel Ricciardo in 2023 and held his own. Sharp in the wet, calm under pressure, scored points. Many believed he was the next big thing. But stepping into a Red Bull seat next to Max Verstappen, that's a different beast entirely. From the moment Lawson debuted in 2025 with the main team, the pressure was suffocating. Expectations were sky high. The car was difficult to understand. The engineering team was already tailored around Verstappen's preferences, and Lawson had no time to adapt. In just 2 races, the verdict came down hard. 2 Q1 eliminations, a 20th place finish, 0 points. He looked lost, overwhelmed, and more importantly, he looked slow. Red Bull didn't wait. They pulled the plug almost instantly. 2 races, that's all he got. And with that decision, Lawson's confidence took a massive hit. A promising career was shaken, and the message from Red Bull was clear: perform immediately or you're out. But was that ever fair? Lawson was thrown into one of the toughest seats in Formula One without preparation, without support, and without time. He didn't just have to compete, he had to survive a pressure cooker that had already broken seasoned drivers before him. In reality, it wasn't a failure of talent, it was a failure of management, of planning, of patience. And yet again, Red Bull did what they always do when the second seat doesn't work out. They looked for someone else. This time, they turned to a familiar face. After Lawson's failure, Red Bull brought in Yuki Tsunoda. On paper, it made sense. 5 seasons of experience, growth through AlphaTauri, and a driver who had matured both mentally and technically. He had outperformed every teammate except Pierre Gasly, and fans were eager to see what he could do in the top car. But the transition was brutal. After a decent start, Q3 in Bahrain, points in Jeddah, everything fell apart. 4 Q1 eliminations in a row, crashes in qualifying, 0 points across multiple races. The same pattern seen with Perez and Lawson started to appear again. Tsunoda began to look nervous, overdriving, second-guessing. At Imola, he crashed in qualifying. In Austria, he collided with Colapinto and ended up with a 10-second penalty. The confidence was gone. The body language told the full story. Tension in interviews, frustration on the radio, and a total lack of rhythm in the car. Internally, the team expected results, but Red Bull didn't offer support. They offered pressure. Christian Horner and Helmut Marko both insisted the car wasn't that difficult to drive. Tsunoda disagreed. He had said the simulator felt easy, but in real conditions, he couldn't find grip, he couldn't find balance. The car just didn't respond to him. And like Perez before him, like Lawson just weeks earlier, he started to fade, one qualifying session at a time. Red Bull claimed it was a driver problem, but now it's happened to 3 different drivers in the exact same seat, in the same car, with the same team around them. At what point does the problem stop being the driver and start being the system? 3 drivers, same car, same outcome. Red Bull's second seat isn't cursed, it's broken. For years, the Verstappen side of the garage has been perfectly tuned. The team, the setup, the development, all tailored to his driving style. And that's fine when you have a generational talent like Max. But it creates an ecosystem where no one else can survive. The second car is supposed to be identical, but in reality, it operates in Verstappen's shadow. Data goes through his preferences. Updates come based on his feedback. The engineers work to maximize his window of performance. Anyone who doesn't drive like Max struggles to extract the same results. That's not just a challenge, it's a trap. And every driver Red Bull puts in that second seat falls into it. First Gasly, then Albon, then Perez, Lawson, and now Tsunoda. Different names, same story. And Red Bull never adapts. Instead, they swap drivers, hoping one of them magically clicks. But it's not a coincidence anymore, it's a pattern. And if nothing changes, it's going to keep happening, no matter who they put in that car next. We're only halfway through the 2025 season, but Red Bull is running out of options. Tsunoda is the 3rd driver to fail in that seat within a single year, and F1 regulations only allow 4 official race drivers per team per season. That means if Red Bull replaces Tsunoda again, it's their final move, and all signs point to one name, Isack Hadjar, the young French-Algerian rookie currently racing for the sister team Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. But promoting Hadjar now would be a massive risk. He's talented, yes, but still learning. Throwing him into Verstappen's world could destroy his development just like it did with Lawson. Red Bull is stuck in a loop. Promote too early, the drivers crumble. Wait too long, they miss the window. And now there's another twist. Behind Hadjar, a new name is emerging, Arvid Lindblad. Just 17 years old and already tearing up Formula 2, Red Bull even granted him an early super license waiver. He could be ready as soon as 2026, so the clock is ticking. Do they gamble on Hadjar now? Do they reset and wait for Lindblad, or do they try the unthinkable? Look outside the Red Bull system entirely. That second seat is no longer just a car. It's a question Red Bull can't answer, and until they do, the cycle continues. If Red Bull decides not to replace Tsunoda mid-season, this is it, his final shot. The second half of 2025 will define his entire Formula One future. And honestly, it's not just about performance anymore, it's about survival. Tsunoda has shown flashes of brilliance, Q3s, aggressive starts, moments of pace, but none of it matters if he can't deliver results consistently. Behind the scenes, pressure is mounting, sponsors are asking questions, media attention is relentless, every mistake feels like a countdown. And worst of all, Tsunoda knows it. You can hear it in his voice during interviews. interviews. The frustration, the confusion, the cracks, and it's heartbreaking because this was supposed to be his moment. 5 years of grinding through the junior team, proving himself, beating expectations, and now it's slipping away. If he gets dropped from Red Bull, there's no guarantee he gets another chance in F1. Not with Alpine struggling, not with Audi building slowly, not with seats closing everywhere. He either finds something within himself to rise, or he risks fading away. Just another name chewed up by the Red Bull machine. There's one name that silently controls everything happening at Red Bull: Max Verstappen. Not just the results, but the entire ecosystem. Every update, every setup choice, every strategic move is built around him. And it works, he wins. A lot. But here's the catch: when one driver becomes the center of gravity, everyone else starts to orbit, powerless to change course. Verstappen doesn't ask for special treatment, but his dominance forces the team to optimize only for him. And that creates an environment nearly impossible for a teammate to thrive in. Think about it. The car is developed to match Max's driving. The feedback loop flows through his side of the garage. When updates come, they're designed to enhance what he's already doing well. And if you're not Verstappen, good luck. You'll always feel like you're a step behind, even in the same machine. That's why Tsunoda, Lawson, Perez, all of them struggled. Not because they were bad drivers, but because they weren't Max. And maybe, just maybe, no one can be. It's become a running joke in Formula One. Red Bull's second seat is cursed. But the truth is, it's not funny anymore. Since Daniel Ricciardo left in 2018, no one has survived that seat. Pierre Gasly was gone after 12 races. Alex Albon lasted just over a year. Sergio Perez gave them 4 seasons and still got pushed out. Now Tsunoda is next in line, caught in the exact same spiral. Why does it keep happening? It's not just about talent. These drivers were all proven. The real problem is the impossible expectations. You're expected to support Max Verstappen and be within 2/10 of him every weekend. If you're not, you're either not good enough, lacking pace, or mentally weak. But how do you measure up when the team's development, setup, and strategy are all optimized for someone else? It's a system built for one king, and everyone else is disposable. Red Bull isn't just racing other teams anymore, it's racing itself, constantly trying to beat the unbeatable standard it created. And that pressure is destroying careers. Yuki Tsunoda was never just another rookie. He was Red Bull's Japanese prodigy, fast, fiery, and marketable. After years with AlphaTauri, now Racing Bulls, he finally earned his shot at the top. But being promoted to Red Bull isn't a reward. It's a test, a brutal one. It's like being thrown into a final exam with no time to study. The pressure is immediate. There's no learning curve, no give him time, just expectations. Tsunoda had to deliver results from day one against one of the greatest drivers in Formula One history. And with every mistake, every spin, every Q1 exit, the walls started closing in. Social media turned, journalists questioned, sponsors whispered, and inside the paddock, the doubt grew. Not because Tsunoda isn't good, but because Red Bull doesn't wait for development. They expect you to survive the fire or burn. So where does this leave Yuki Tsunoda? He's halfway through the most important season of his career, and it's slipping away. If things don't change fast, he could lose his Red Bull seat. But what's even worse? He might lose his future in Formula One. Because let's be honest, there's no guarantee another top team will take him. Alpine is rebuilding, Haas is unstable, Sauber is waiting for Audi, and Red Bull has a new generation waiting in the shadows. Isaac Hadjar, Ayumu Iwasa, even Arvid Lindblad rising fast. Tsunoda is running out of time, and yet all hope isn't lost. The 2026 regulation changes are coming. The entire grid will reset. New cars, new engines, new balance of power. If Yuki can hold on, if he can adapt, evolve, and survive this storm, he could still rewrite the story. But Red Bull has to stop burning talent, because if Tsunoda fails, it won't just be on him. It will be another chapter in a system that's broken. And the truth is, maybe Tsunoda was never the problem. Maybe Red Bull's second seat is. If you made it this far, thank you. This story isn't just about Yuki Tsunoda. It's about pressure, potential, and the brutal reality of Formula One. What do you think? Is Red Bull's second seat cursed, or is Tsunoda just not ready? Let me know in the comments, and if you love F1 stories like this, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss a race behind the race. See you in the next one.